community issue that relates fairly directly to the land development regulations and maybe planning and zoning. In my district, there's a garage that's been built, a very large garage that's been built in a residential neighborhood, pretty much fills up the lot, and has caused quite a bit of, I get a fair number of calls on it. And I am told by staff that they are very well aware of the project building, and that as far as they can tell, it's all consistent with our rules and regulations. But I think pretty much anybody in our community who drove by the thing and had a look at it would say, what? Our rules allow that? Anywhere in the city, in a residential neighborhood? I think there would be a certain amount of dismay, and this is one of the reasons why we should go through this kind of stuff, these rules and regulations, quite carefully and think about them thoughtfully and not do it in a rush. Make sure that, because it's not easy to do, to write these kind of rules down in a way that balances all the different needs and so on. So, just like to draw that to our attention.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commission Liaison reports and comments. We've got a pretty heavy agenda here today. Anything special, anyone? Public participation of non-agended items. City Manager?
Yes.
Peter Tin, followed by Loretta Sharp.
Peter Tin on North Low Street yet, and yes, there are a couple of things on the consent agenda. I'm glad to see Commission before you pull one of them. However, the second item on there, we're increasing the inspection service from $15,000 to $25,000, $30,000 increase. And I was wondering why we needed that to carry us through the end of this year, which is 3 weeks away. I come to find out that most of their work is being done for the CRA in inspecting the homes that they are building over there. And also that they're charging us $60 an hour for this stuff to work. So I was just wondering why we are paying for work being done by the CRA. Why isn't the CRA paying for this out of their own pocket rather than us handling it? Also, the purchase of 5 lawnmowers for $46,000 makes each lawnmower worth $5,000. Now, I don't think we're paying $9,000 for each lawnmower. So looking at the backup, I thought I would buy 11 lawnmowers. So that brings the cost down to $4,000. I guess it's pretty reasonable, but why do we use 11 lawnmowers? You know, what are we doing? What are we doing with this stuff? And also, agreement to international sweeping to do the streets, all in the CRA area. Why is the city of Lake Worth paying sweep the streets in the CRA area? They want to do all this work. Let them keep it clean. Let them do that. Why do we have to pay for them? I do not understand this. I do not like all this stuff on the consent agenda, but that's for me to agree with. Thank you.
Loretta Sharp, followed by Katie McGivern.
Loretta Sharp, 1311 South Congress. Did you all have a good time in Boston? My favorite city outside of Washington, D.C. It's a wonderful city. I bet you met a lot of great people. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year. I hope we get through this budget crisis soon. And thank you for the present. I appreciate it. Bye. Are you afraid?
Katie McGivern, followed by Lynn Anderson.
Hi, Katie McGivern, Chairman Save Our Neighborhood, 2121 Collier Avenue. You have copies of this letter in front of you, and I'm going to read this for the record. Dear Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, I'm writing on behalf of Save Our Neighborhood Incorporated, a Lake Worth political action committee. You may recall that Save Our Neighborhood sponsored 2 petitions on the subject of the rezoning and comprehensive plan amendment for a parcel located at 826 Sunset Drive, known as the Sunset property. These petitions were the subject of controversy and protracted litigation. Indeed, the status of the Sunset property remains undecided to this date. The Sunset property owners demanded mediation with the city in 2009 regarding the land use status of the property. Save Our Neighborhood attended mediation on this matter, firmly in opposition to the authorization of a dense multifamily use for this land. Very recently, much to Save Our Neighborhood's surprise, it was learned that Save Our Neighborhood was deliberately excluded from ongoing discussions between the owners, Lake Worth attorney, Lake Worth city manager, and mediator regarding the property status. Prior to circulating the petitions for signature, Save Our Neighborhood met with City Clerk Pam Lopez for review of the petitions. Ms. Lopez in turn took the petitions to City Attorney Larry Carnes for his review. Mr. Carnes reviewed the petitions and made a few changes before approving them for circulation. In good faith reliance upon the city's approval, Save Our Neighborhood collected over 7,000 signatures in 30 days, in accordance with the Lake Worth Charter, expending much time, effort, and $5,271.95.
Good evening, Lynn Anderson, Treasurer of Save Our Neighborhood, Inc. Political Action Committee. After collecting the petitions, Save Our Neighborhood turned them over to the city in accordance with the directions given by Ms. Lopez. When the city embargoed the petitions and refused to relinquish them to Save Our Neighborhood or turn them into the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections for validation, it became apparent that Save Our Neighborhood's good faith reliance upon the city of Lake Worth was misplaced. Save Our Neighborhood would never have engaged in this very expensive, time-consuming, arduous petition endeavor if it had known that the city of Lake Worth would act in such an arrogant, dismissive fashion when it refused to even allow the petitions to be validated. The proper recourse for the city was to allow the petitions to be validated by the Supervisor of Elections in order to determine whether the referendum qualified for the ballot. In the event it did, it would have been reasonable for the city to seek judicial guidance on the lawfulness of the referenda. The members of Save Our Neighborhood are long-standing Lake Worth citizens and taxpayers. When the city of Lake Worth embargoed the petitions, it demonstrated pure contempt for its own citizens. The entire episode has left Save Our Neighborhood and many Lake Worth residents with a sense of distrust and aggrievement toward the city of Lake Worth government. A measure of good faith is in order. This letter formally asks the city of Lake Worth to reimburse Save Our Neighborhood in the amount of $5,271.95 for those expenses directly related to the collection of the Sunset referenda petitions. We look forward to your approval of this meritorious request. Sincerely yours, Leslie Blackner. Thank you.
Thank you. Barbara Jean Weber, followed by Julie Seaver.
Good evening. I have a friend who lives close to the property on D Street, and I'm bored. I actually drove by to take a look at it, and I very affectionately and most respectfully want to ask each of you, would you like to have that in your neighborhood? And if there are laws that are coming forth that allow that creation, we need to change it. You are 5 bright people, including,
Not so bright.
but not no, not in addition. Okay, let's start again. There are 7 bright people here, and each of you, I'm serious now, we need to do something. On a less serious note, we need to have a line item, please, city manager, for Commissioner Maxwell's phone fund. It's getting up there. A line item would be great so I can see how often it is. Sorry, Scott. Also, I ask us not to forget the food bank for buy one, get one free. They're all over Publix and Winn-Dixie. So please think of your neighbor. We have a lot of elderly people here in this city. You saw the chart up there with 30% and 20% poverty. Those of us who are blessed need to do something. The food bank is at the church, First Presbyterian Church on 1st Avenue South. I hope that as the holidays approach and the new year comes, that each of you